Hi, welcome to Elizabeth Reads. We are reading Jemima Small versus the Universe by Tamsin Winter, and we are on chapter 43, Expanding Universe. I spotted Dad as soon as our coach pulled into the school car park. He was wearing his bright yellow high visibility jacket. In case my whole year might not notice how totally embarrassing he was. "You survived!" he shouted at 100 decibels as I got off the coach. "Incredible! No ingesting poisonous mushrooms or being devoured by killer leeches or falling down ravines." And then he laughed extremely loudly at his own joke. "Yes, Dad," I said, climbing down the steps. "I survived all of that. Unfortunately, so did your gators. I'll just get my rucksack." I walked over to where the coach driver was putting everyone's bags. Dad waited with me for a minute and then started scanning the crowd. "Is Gina here somewhere? Thought I'd say a quick hello. I'll meet you back at the van." He spotted her and practically sprinted over. Gina's smile went as wide as ever. He was probably doing more of his jokes. I waved goodbye to Miki, whose mom was waiting in the car like a normal parent, alien concept to my dad. I waited by the van, trying to telepathically tell Dad it was time to go, but it didn't work. Mr. Nelson had joined the conversation. I could literally die of hypothermia in the school car park and no one would even notice. "Gina's so nice," Dad said when he came back over. "She said you did great." "She's lying." Dad laughed. "She said you scored 6 goals in water polo and ran a 5K. I came last, apart from the group that got lost. Dad started the engine. "That's not last then, is it? Mr. Nelson said you didn't even complain, which I can barely believe." Dad laughed again. "I thought I'd get a phone call from you in the middle of the night saying camping is against your human rights or something." I couldn't get a signal. "Ha! Seriously, I'm proud of you. I didn't want to say before you left, but Jasper said that trip was a complete nightmare. You had fun though?" "Well, let's see. I camped in the freezing cold, in the middle of nowhere, possibly with escaped zoo animals. I trekked halfway up a mountain, ran through a mud swamp, and swam in an algae-ridden lake. And don't even get me started about the food." "Exactly, lots of fun. Oh, and by the way, Jasper's been looking for his binoculars." "Yeah? You don't know anything about where they might be, do you?" "I might have borrowed them to look at the stars." "Jemima, you can't just take things without asking." "I did ask," I said, then turned to face the window and muttered, "It's just that he said no." As we pulled into our drive, I said, "Dad, have you ever been on a cruise?" He looked at me weirdly. "No, why?" I took the Bright Star Cruises brochure out of my coat pocket and handed it to him. "Where did you get this?" he asked sharply. "Did Luna give this to you?" "No, it was in your rucksack." The color drained out of his face, like Jasper's did that time ages ago before he threw up all over the seat. "Oh, it's nothing," he said. "I'll stick it in the recycling." He got out of the van and stuffed the brochure in his back pocket. "Now, tell me about this mud challenge," he said, lifting my rucksack out of the back. "Gina said I was right to pack those gators." I followed him inside, but I didn't say anything about the mud challenge. I went straight upstairs and into my room. I leaned on the windowsill, looking out at the expanding universe, wondering why an old cruise brochure could make Dad look like he was going to be sick. I plugged in my phone. The screen glowed and it vibrated loads of times. I scrolled through the notifications. And then my heart stopped, as though I'd plunged into a freezing cold lake without wearing a wetsuit. "Lottie Freeman tagged you in a video." I tapped the screen and there I was, covered in mud, sweating, with bright red cheeks, hair stuck to my face, in my cagule and my dad's gaiters, running towards the finish line. My heart thumped harder and harder as I read her post. "Wishing my friend Jemima Small good luck in Brainiacs." There just wasn't a hashtag for how much I hated Lottie right now. The end.